Hi, everyone. Thank you for attending this year's annual meeting. It's going to be a little bit different this year since we're doing it on Zoom, but I'm still excited and hope you are as well. This is always one of my favorite gatherings of our group of the year. During our meeting today, you will all be muted and your cameras will be turned off so that everybody can concentrate on the different stages of the presentation. As a preview of the exciting things to come, we're going to lead with our committee chairs reporting what their various committees have accomplished over the course of this past year. Then we are going to take some time to vote in our new members, officers, and chairs and welcome everybody to those positions. Then our CEO, Sharna Braucks, will provide an update on the WISE impact overall this year. And then in conclusion, we're going to recognize our volunteers and hand out some awards. It's overall going to be a great evening, and I look forward to spending the next hour or so with you. And now I'm going to turn this over to Dave Schwartz to kick off the committee reports for the Audit Committee.
Thank you, Sharna. The Audit Committee this year, we had an unusual year, and it was a difficult year. We changed from a CEFO to using an outside accounting firm. We changed financial and operating software and changed banks. And we went through the COVID pandemic with the government funding that needed to be accounted for. We also had a new audit accounting firm. This meant that extra time and attention to all processes. The board has just received and will be approving the 2020 audit in our next meeting. Thank you. And next up is Roger Jones with the Finance Committee.
Thanks, Dave. Hello, everybody. The Finance Committee meets every month to review our organizational income and expenses, a balance sheet, and other financial reports, as well as to strategize and question how the Y is doing with regard to financial activities and practices. Like a number of committees and staff members, in the past year of the pandemic, the Finance Committee had to be even more diligent. I'm thankful for the knowledge, expertise, and support of this committee's volunteers, including Victor Rapicelli, our immediate past chair. Committee members have been asking the right questions that help to ensure we were making the right financial moves to survive, to sustain our WISE mission, and to come through this in a strong position as an organization. Having been closed on and off during most of 2020, we lost revenues from program fees and from membership dues. However, contributions to the Y were heartening, and especially 2 payroll protection plan loans from the US government have made all the difference. The first PPP loan has already been forgiven and converted to a grant, and we are on the right track to spend the second one according to guidelines so it can become a grant as well. Thanks to our YMCA staff and leadership, we received several additional grants that help make up some of the loss in revenues. And we especially thank Sharna, our CEO, for her vision, creativity, equanimity, and courage during this crisis. She got us through it with plenty of hope to spare. All of us on the committee are grateful also for the service of our new consulting CPAs, the firm of Skehan and Young, and especially their member, Benjamin Henry. Their comprehensive and accurate reports aid both the YMCA staff and our committee in keeping track of our finances, and their diligence has been crucial in pursuing PPP loans and forgiveness. So I thank them and the Finance Committee for truly exceptional commitment and stewardship for the Y this past year. And I thank our donors and our Financial Development Committee also for keeping us going. And you'll hear from the chair, my friend Christiana Dominguez, next.
Hey everyone, I'm here with your Financial Development Committee report. My name's Christiana, I think most of you know me, but just want to report that in spite of a really challenging year, we had a really great year in financial development for the association, bringing in an increase of about $300,000 in grants and gifts this year, which was only possible through the hard work of the entire Financial Development Committee, our amazing and dedicated staff, and all of the board and council members who really worked hard to make sure that our annual campaign in early 2020, and then the second part of it kind of at the end of 2020, as well as S'mores Fest at home in October, were a great success. I was really proud of our S'mores Fest event, which was entirely virtual this year, for bringing in over $40,000, having a presenting sponsor again for the first time in a long time, thanks to Sharna's hard work and securing that with Sutter. And yeah, we had a great year. Can't thank the committee enough for their dedication. We've put a lot of time into discussing what we want our long range plans to be, how to effectively reach out and engage and keep donors engaged, make sure that we're thanking people and upping our efforts in that area. And then getting ready for success again with this year's S'mores Fest. So save the date for Saturday, October 2nd, and the return of an in-person S'mores Fest event. So keep your fingers crossed that we'll be able to go forward with that. And that will be the kickoff for our 2021 annual campaign. So look for more information on that coming soon. But I think it's going to be a great year to revive old traditions, build new ones, and continue on with our success. So again, thank you so much to all of the committee members who served this year, and to our staff who worked so hard to make sure that we could keep on providing the programs that are important to our community. And I will turn it over to the next committee for their report.
Thank you, Christiana. Properties and Facilities Group, we took this opportunity last year, with many of our facilities being closed, to refocus our current facilities and conduct professional inspections in all of them. We took the reports that were obtained and started breaking down the work that would need to be done to take place over the next 5 years to not only maintain, but to improve our facilities. This is the first time in many years that we have undertaken such a task. We worked at putting together the most immediate needs that would need to be addressed in 2021, then prioritizing the rest of the work over the next 3 to 5 years. We also discussed what would be needed in our facilities, what would help expand our programs and membership, and not just fix or do maintenance. This project took a large portion of our focus as we discussed how we would need to financially plan to meet these needs. We also took the opportunity to make some improvements in our facilities in 2020. In Sacramento, we resurfaced the pool deck, opened the pool entrance and the office area, built on-deck showers, and thoroughly cleaned and repainted the majority of the facility. In Yolo County, we refurbished a couple of the preschool rooms and playground, as well as improved the kitchen, painted the majority of the facility, improved lighting, repurposed surface, and cleaned out our storage areas. In Oroville, we fixed roofing, electrical, and agreed to a partner with the city to expand into their city auditorium in 2021. It was a busy year for all Properties and Facilities Committee, and we thank the committee members for sharing their expertise in order to help the Y have a wonderful facility that meets our members and community needs for years to come. And next up is Connor Johnson with our Board Development Committee.
The Board Development Committee this year focused on putting our proverbial house in order. We did a deep review of practices and processes to put more organization and clarity around some of the board's functions and roles. This included updating the bylaws to allow for expansion of the executive committee and vice president role, working on formalizing board processes and class structure to better recruit, train, and promote board members, developing and implementing a holistic board evaluation. And we use this to determine the board's strengths and weaknesses to help us recruit and fill in gaps along the spectrum of diversity needed, starting a succession planning processes for board committee chairs and creating committee charts of work and job descriptions. I really want to thank the members of the Board Development Committee and the board for acknowledging that the board's health is vital to our organization's health and putting in the work to help get us to the healthier place. The work that this committee does is not always the most exciting, but it is crucial to the board's long-term success and effectiveness. And I'm proud to say we are taking the steps in the right direction for future success.
The next item on our agenda this evening is to vote in our new members, officers, and chairs, and some other recognitions. And for this, I am going to hand it over to the chair of our Board Development Committee, Connor Johnson.
The Board Development Committee and the board generally would also really want to thank the following volunteers who gave so much of themselves, their talent, and their treasure to the YMCA, some over decades. Andy Sisk, who served as a past chair and is a Chauncey Dunn Award winner, first joined the board in 2003. We are so very appreciative of the enormous efforts you expended over the many years. Shonda Grady, our current chair, whose heroic efforts during the pandemic were vitally important to help ensure the YMCA stability. We are so very sorry to see you go, but the legacy of service you made in the Sacramento area will certainly remain. Hema Quinn, thank you for bringing your thoughtful questions, creative thinking, and your financial expertise to our Y. Aaron Arak, thank you so much for bringing your new ideas and passion to our board during your time with us. Bob Miller, thank you for helping us build better connections to the community and for all your work in the Board Development Committee. Mark Hanslick, your expertise in messaging and communication has been invaluable, but we are grateful to have you still with us on the Sacramento Advisory Council. Which brings me to my next set of thank yous. I want to recognize the enormous efforts of our tireless advisory councils who provide invaluable input from our service areas. This includes Gold Country, Oroville, Sac Central, and Yolo County. Now, on to some formal but very important business. The Board Development Committee is recommending the following slate for the upcoming board year. We are excited to recommend 4 new board members to the YMCA Superior California Board. This includes Bill Knowlton, Executive Director of Mac Road Partnerships, who will serve on the Finance Committee. Angel Martin, Senior Director of Global Supply Chain Operations at Intel, will serve on the Properties and Facilities Committee. Paul Stokes, Relocation Engineer and owner of Sierra Valley Moving and Storage, will serve on the Finance Committee. And Jack Williams, owner of Jack Construction, will chair the Properties and Facilities Committee. The Board Executive Committee will be comprised of Board Chair / Chief Volunteer Dave Swartz. Treasurer is Roger Jones. Secretary is Aaron McDonough. Vice chairs will be the chairs of the committees, Christiana Dominguez, Connor Johnston, John Rice, and Jack Williams. The committee and vice chairs, the committee chairs and vice chairs will be Audit Committee, John Rice, and vice chaired by Dave Swartz. The Board Development Committee will be chaired by myself, Connor Johnston, and vice chaired by John Rice. The Finance Committee will be chaired by Roger Jones and vice chaired by Enkarika Ohebo. Financial Committee Development will be chaired by Christiana Dominguez and vice chaired by Mary Kober. And Properties and Facilities Committee Chair will be Jack Williams. We also have a number of special committees that help us in really important and specific areas. Our investment committees, we have 2, one in Sacramento and one in Oroville. The Sacramento is chaired by Bob McLean, joined by Borden Webb, John Kay, John Rustaika, Nancy Holt, Mark Gordon, Andy Sisk, and Roger Jones. And the Oroville Investment Committee will be chaired by Mike Hutton, joined by John Dahlmeyer, Vincent Kurland, Donald Remley, Ed Gredvig, and TJ Jensen. We also have a Nelson's Grove Committee, who's chaired by Steve Kreischer and joined by Jim Campos, John Farley, Kyle Lang, and Aaron McDonough. Our branch advisory councils are chaired by the following individuals. For Oroville YMCA, it's chaired by TJ Jensen. The Sacramento Central YMCA will be chaired by Christiana Dominguez, and the Yolo County YMCA will be chaired by Alexis Collins. The Board Development Committee is very excited to recommend these individuals to lead the YMCA board, and the various committees that support us in our important goals for this year.
Right. This is Shonda Grady. I'd like to request that someone make a motion.
There's Connor. I'm unmuting him.
Hi, everyone. I make a formal motion to approve the slate of new board members, board officers, and committee chairs as recommended by the Board Development Committee.
Thank you, Connor. Do I have anyone who can make a second?
I second.
Thank you, Christiana. And this is where I'd like to ask everyone to use the voting reactions, use as described in the email, the reaction tabs to do a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you vote in favor or against. So I will call for it first. All those who vote in favor to approve. And thank you, Christiana, for the reminder. The voting is by the board members, please. So in favor, I see. Keep them up if you're a board member and voting to approve. Oh, shoot, we might need to do them again.
I counted 13.
You counted? Okay, thank you. So now we can, now if anyone votes against, I ask that you please use I think we have a thumbs down option. Right. Kim, I think her vote was from before.
Correct.
Okay. And then, so I have no opposed. And do we have anybody who is a board member abstaining from this vote? If you do, please use a thumbs up at this point. And I see Mark Shope is abstaining. So I believe with that, we have passed the motion to approve the new slate of board members. Thank you all. And thank you in particular to Connor and our Board Development Committee. Our CEO, Sharna Braucks, will provide an update on the Y's impact overall this year.
We've been through wars, we've been through depressions, we've been through other illnesses, acts of God. We are there to help. And when we see a need, that's what we do.
These are unprecedented times. Times that challenge the way in which we at the YMCA work to strengthen community as we have for nearly 170 years. At our core, the Y is about relationships. We bring people together from all backgrounds, ages, and circumstances, fostering connections within and across communities. But we're also nimble. The Y has always found ways to help people and communities in times of crisis. Right now, Ys across the country are providing emergency childcare for healthcare workers and first responders.
C. Davis registered nurse Kelly Grady and her husband are both frontline essential workers and parents to a toddler. They turned to the YMCA when the daycare they were using shut down in March.
Fortunately, being able to get Benji into daycare allowed me to continue coming to work and kind of keep our patients and staff safe here.
Food for children without access to school meals.
What we are doing is providing lunches for families, for children, during this crisis situation. So while the schools are out, we have meals available for families. All they need to do is drive up in their car and have a child with them, and we will provide them with a lunch that they can take home and eat during this time.
For at-risk populations and outreach to seniors who face social isolation.
On the YMCA and fixing up outdoors. We're also doing a food drive where people can stop and drop off canned and boxed goods. And then finally, we're also making calls to seniors and checking in with them to make sure they're doing okay.
This work is the lifeblood of our mission. And when this crisis is over, the Y will be there to help our communities recover.
Now people can more readily enjoy the fitness center and also our group fitness classes.
Just being here makes me happy.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm 50 years old and I'm almost 80.
But we can't do it alone. Whether you're connected to the Y today or have a fond Y memory, you're part of our family. And we need you to stay with us. Stay connected with your Y. Stay connected with your community. And stay connected with each other. Reach out to your local Y today and stay with us for a better us.
I am very excited to be reporting to you about the impact the YMCA made in 2020. Last year, YMCAs were challenged to meet the community's drastically changing needs in breakneck speed and with new and ever-evolving tools and guidelines. This year was like no other for our organization. There were challenges and also opportunities for us as we had to move away from our conventional model of programs and service and pivot to create alternatives and innovative partnerships. While our fitness facilities were closed, we continued offering childcare to those essential workers who needed care. Many aspects of the care we offered had to change to meet new guidelines, but the core of what we do, caring for, educating, and ensuring the safety of the children in our community, remained. We were blown away by the integrity and bravery of our childcare team, who continued through uncertain times that could have impacted their own health to stay with us and continue to care for the children who need them. They were fastidious about the safety protocols and created an environment that was healthy, safe, and fun. These team members were heroes to many. We partnered with Hands On Sacramento to find volunteers to help us call our many senior members to check in on them and let them know we cared about their well-being. They found paratransit to help us, and their team was looking for some work for their dispatchers. This created a perfect alignment and was much appreciated by our members. Hundreds of calls were made that gave connection, meaning, and hope to many isolated seniors. Another pivot we took to offer meals to many youth who were going without due to school closures. We received grant funding from YMCA of USA, Walmart, and Reynolds, and others to help us feed the many hungry families in our community. We also partnered with La Familia Maple Schools, Elmo Slider, and Bridge Network to help us reach more people in need. We served over 90,000 meals in 2020 with the help of all these partners and volunteers. RY also partnered with Sacramento Steps Forward last summer to serve over 35,000 meals to the homeless to ensure that no one was forgotten during this pandemic. Our branches in Oroville, Sacramento, and Woodland were made available to Vitalant to host community blood drives to meet the need during critical shortages and allow for much needed social distancing during these procedures. Every pint collected helps as many as 3 people, meaning RY was there at the direst hour of need for over 500 people. With many of our team furloughed, we took the opportunity to realign our resources and devise a new structure that could better sustain our organization in the years to come. We realigned our team to match their talents and use them for the whole association. The people who work for the YMCA are a passionate and caring group. I can't thank them enough for their commitment and understanding this past year. Many took on multiple tasks to compensate for the lack of funding we had. The team was truly that, a team that supported one another and kept the organization and community's best interests ahead of their own. Their commitment endures and has made this YMCA stronger for it. We also expanded our membership options to be more inclusive and give some lower price points to be more broadly affordable, while expanding services such as virtual programming through Y360. This platform is a part of membership and offers a wide range of classes for all ages. We also partnered with Home Again to offer virtual sightseeing trips around the world. Virtually this year, we also hosted over 600 group fitness classes during shelter in place and conducted our youth and government programs for teens in Sacramento, El Dorado, and Grass Valley. 2020 was a year like none other, but like the 160 years that came before it, the Y was there to meet the ever-shifting community need. This year taught us that we are resilient, flexible, and still as relevant as ever. Thank you.
And now I'm going to turn this over to Dave Schwartz. In conclusion, we're going to recognize our volunteers and hand out some awards.
Here tonight we're here to do our awards for volunteers to the YMCA. Due to the pandemic, we didn't have the ability to honor our Chauncey Dunn Award winner last year. So we were playing a little catch up to honor our recipients for 2019 and 2020 this evening. Chauncey Dunn Award recognizes individuals whose efforts have influenced the YMCA's ability to meet our mission in the community. The recipients must exemplify the YMCA's mission, enable the Y to have a greater impact on its communities, have a long tenure with the Y, and demonstrate involvement in betterment of our community. The award is named for Chauncey Dunn, who had 3 terms as service as president of our Y, spanning 8 terms between 1890 and 1915. Our recipient for 2019 is Erin McDonough, our current past chair, who served an additional year after her first to lead the Y through the search and hiring of our current president and CEO. When our old CEO left, Erin worked with the YMCA of USA quickly and found us an interim CEO, and then moved right into the mode of searching for and finding Sharna. The whole process was top notch. I was totally impressed, and in the end, we hit a home run. And it's not like that we search for a new CEO every year, but Erin's leadership through the process was amazing. Congratulations, Erin.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for this award. It's really an honor to be recognized for volunteer efforts at the Y, which is someplace that I really love and had a really big impact on my life and on the life of my kids. I volunteer for many, many reasons, many more than I could fit in this video. So I'll just name a few. One of those is our swim program. I learned how to swim at the Y. I know many of you did as well. In an area such as ours, where we have so many lakes and rivers, I really consider learning to swim a life skill. And I think the YMCA is the best around to learn how to swim. I also am so proud of our Y and how we really stepped up over the past year to provide childcare to the children of first responders and to up our food program and feed so many people that were in need. As well as, all of the other things that we do day in and day out. So thank you again for this award. I wish I could be there virtually with you guys, but I'm up in Oregon somewhere today. So thanks again. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Next, for 2020, our award winner is Shonda Grady, who served as our board chairman during one of the most stressful and ever-changing, unprecedented years ever. Her keen leadership abilities were tested in this past year, but she overcame every obstacle thrown at her. With her steady hand, future-focusing thinking, and inclusive teamwork, we would not have made it through this past year without her. Through the whole COVID year, the one thing that always shone bright was Shauna's love for the Y. I am sad to say that we are losing Sharna as she is moving her family to the East Coast, but we are very thankful for the years of service to our board.
Thank you. I am beyond humbled and flattered to be the recipient of this year's Chauncey Dunn Award. There are so many members of this board who I think are more deserving than I for all the time and commitment that you've given this Y. This YMCA really means a lot to me, and I feel honored and privileged to have had an opportunity to volunteer here, and particularly with all of you. The YMCA, I joined the board when my kids were attending summer camp and preschool and after school care here and in the swim lessons. And I was a member at the gym. But my family's membership or commitment to this Y goes much farther back. My grandfather was one of the swim coaches here from the time the pool, I think around the time the pool initially opened. And my dad has fond memories of growing up in this pool. So it's not only a part of my community, it's a part of my family. And it's meant a lot to be a part of this team more than anything else, to give and work together to support our community our neighbors, our friends, the kids, the seniors in our community. It means a lot, and I'm really appreciative of the recognition, and only wish that I could do more. And I look forward to continuing to see what all of you accomplish through this YMCA for our community in the future. Thank you.
This year, we're also, for the first ever, awarding Skip Reynolds Award for Youth and Development. Skip Reynolds joined the Y Board of Directors back in 1988 and was our oldest serving board member. He served as a board member from 2004 to 2006. We sadly lost Skip in 2020. As a board, we decided to honor his legacy and creation of this award in his honor. The first ever recipient is Christiana Dominguez. Christiana has served many roles in our Y, including leading our team leadership program, Youth in Government. During the pandemic, she quickly pivoted and created a Northern California YMCA collaboration to keep the Youth in Government program active and safe virtual setting. Also, over the past 2 years, she has transformed our annual camp themed fundraiser, S'mores Fest, into a marquee event that helped many children be able to access the Y programs such as camps, sports, swim lessons, and of course, Youth in Government. Congratulations.
So thank you very much. I am humbled and honored to be the inaugural recipient of the Skip Reynolds Youth Development Award. Skip was without a doubt one of the kindest, best advocates for our YMCA that I have known. I still remember how welcoming he was even on my first day as a board member. His positivity and his commitment to our mission and to the youth of our community was just undeniable and well known to everyone who worked with him. So thank you to his family for having this award in his name, and I'm just very humbled and grateful to be the recipient of the award. I think that this award is appropriately shared with a whole lot of people who made this year's Youth in Government program possible. A lot of the programs that we provide here at the Y, of course, were made a lot more difficult in the pandemic. YNG being the one that I work on the most, and transferring that experience from something that's a really valued in-person program to online was a challenge, but one that was met by our entire advising team. And I couldn't be more proud of what we were able to accomplish together over the last year. And I'm just really grateful that I had a chance to be a part of it. And I will share a couple of thoughts that our delegates shared with us at the end of the year that were meaningful to me. One of our outgoing delegation presidents said, "One lesson that I will take away is the last one that I learned in the program. No matter what life throws at you, there's always a way to do what you love if you really want to. Despite it being online, this was actually a lot of fun, and I really appreciate the fellow delegates and advisors' support and encouragement." And that's all kind of why we do it, right? We do all of this work as board members and as volunteers just to see the impact in the community. And I'm really lucky that I get to see that most weeks out of the year when I'm interacting with all of these amazing kids. And it was so necessary to provide this during the pandemic to remain that touchstone for kids at what is often a fraught time of life, even without a global pandemic wreaking havoc on the norm. But to watch them really rise to meet that moment, take on the challenge, stay positive, still manage to form friendships through the power of Zoom was incredibly gratifying and was just a really great experience. So thank you again. Definitely honored, and thanks. Thank you for doing all that you do as board and council members and staff so that we can continue to serve these kids. Thanks so much.
Every year, we also honor a volunteer of the year for each service area. At Gold Country YMCA, our volunteer of the year is Lisa Swartzout. In 2020, Lisa stepped away from public office after 25 years as planning commissioner, council member, and mayor of Grass Valley. But she didn't shy away from service during the pandemic. She signed up to volunteer as a youth and government advisor for the Gold Country YMCA, helping teens develop leadership skills and staying connected during school closures. Congratulations, Lisa.
Thank you so much for the honor of receiving this award. I will say that I have enjoyed my last year working with the Youth in Government Gold Co group. It's a fantastic group of kids. My co-conspirator in all this, Mary Jane Hoongarten, who brought me into it, has been terrific. But about 3 years ago, when I was an elected official here in Grass Valley, I came and spoke to the kids at one of their meetings, and I was immediately enthralled with the work that they did and how smart they all were and the great questions that they asked. And the next year I was invited to come down to the VIP breakfast and lunch at the conference in Sacramento. And I was so impressed with the organization and with the speakers and how hard the kids worked and how hard all the advisors worked to make that whole thing happen. So when Mary Jane approached me last year and asked me if I would come in and be a advisor with her, I didn't hesitate, and I've truly enjoyed it. It's been a tough year for everybody, having to do all the meetings virtually, but our kids really did a great job. And I couldn't be more thrilled to be there. And I look forward to the 2021-22 schedule. Looks like we're going to get back on track for next year. So really excited to be with the organization, and really enjoyed getting to know all the advisors in the region. Some really great group of people, and how dedicated everybody are to the kids and how smart the kids are. And I always say, if these youth are the future, I'm all in.
In Yolo County, we are honoring Ken Lang for his service to the Yolo County YMCA and Nelson's Grove. He spent decades of service to our organization and communities there. Nelson's Grove and the Y would not be where they are today without Ken's leadership. Ken sadly passed away in September of 2020, but we would like to invite his son Kyle to say a few words about his father, dedication, and service. Kyle?
Father, Kent Lang, he was enjoyed the youth of Yolo County. And one of the big things he did, he was president of the YMCA when I was a little kid. And he just wanted to give experiences to the youth of Yolo County. He worked with, I think, Douglas Junior High, and started the YMCA youth basketball program. Just kind of put it together and got dads going, and got the middle school at Douglas to let him use the space. And he just always looked for, getting youth involved in sports or outside. He really liked, and I know he enjoyed the fact that the YMCA and the Nelson's Grove were partnered, I believe, from the start. And because that area out where Nelson's Grove is, there's just so many opportunities for the kids to get out of the city and just have a good time, out in the country. And just the park's just absolutely beautiful. And then just, I know he brainstormed a lot to create events with the YMCA for the kids of the YMCA to get out of the town and get out there. And they did the summer program. And then the other big one I did as a kid, actually a lot, was the overnight camps where we'd go out and camp tent out at Nelson's Grove. But know, my father, Kent Lang, those were his passions. You know, was giving to the youth and the YMCA and all the athletic programs and the Nelson's Grove. The combination of those two just got the youth, you know, outside playing. I don't think he even could have predicted, you know, how prevalent the devices are now for the youth. You know, in my time, there wasn't any. But I think now more than ever, it's, you know, his legacy of getting the youth outside is even more critical. So, but I know he you know, he always, even Little League and, you know, different youth stuff, he just loved, you know, getting the kids out and getting them to have a good time out in nature. So, but that's all I've got.
In Oroville, our volunteer of the year is TD Jensen. TJ took on a big leadership role in the Oroville Advisory Council during the transition of district executives and helped RY secure an agreement with the city to operate our Oroville Convention Center to run programs which will transform the size and influence of RY in Dubuque County for many years to come.
I just want to thank everybody for the award. I joined the YMCA board to get involved in a nonprofit that would benefit the local community kids and our members and community directly. I enjoy seeing positive results at the Oroville YMCA and it's been around for 100 years and has had a positive impact on our small community. I'd like to see it stay open for another 100 years and hopefully volunteers will keep it open and our wonderful staff too. It really makes me happy to see the results of volunteering with time and money. So the YMCA was a good fit for me to see the resources that we put into it go directly to our community. The lasting impact of the YMCA is evident in the many stories that I've heard over the years from adults now, the impact that the Y has had on their lives when they were kids. So it really encourages me to stay involved just hearing those stories. I love being a part of the Y and the Oroville YMCA and know that volunteering will help ensure its existence for many years to come. The main reason I enjoy volunteering and donating to the Y is because the dollars donated go directly to those in need of services. It's such a big component of our motto at the YMCA. It seems like we know exactly that the benefits of our donations of time and resources will go directly to the community members that need it. And that's what keeps me happy and staying involved. I love our Y and I love our community services, or I love our Y and the community it serves. So I look forward to volunteering for many years to come.
In Sacramento, our volunteer of the year is Dan Smith. Throughout the openings and closures of our Y in 2020, Dan helped our Y with messaging and reopening planning when our Y was stretched thin due to staffing shortage. In addition, he helped coordinate volunteer events like MLK Day of Service. Congratulations, Dan.
Hello. Thank you for supporting the Sacramento YMCA. I came to know the YMCA as a young man in Akron, Ohio, growing up. I played basketball there every Friday night with my friends. Years later, when I moved to Sacramento, I started playing at 5:30 in the morning, 3 times a week. And 30 years later, I'm still doing it. And I've made friends that will be with me the rest of my life. Just a fantastic experience. It also allowed me to learn all the great things that the YMCA does in the community. Childcare, food programs for seniors and kids, youth and government, summer camps, all of those things. So when I left journalism a few years ago to start working at Visit California, I had more freedom to volunteer. And starting with the YMCA was a really easy decision for me because it has given me so much over the years. So thank you for this recognition. I appreciate it. I'm a little overwhelmed by it, but that decision to volunteer at the YMCA was among the best that I've ever made in my life. Thank you again.
On behalf of the YMCA, I'd like to thank our roundtable donors, all of our supporters, and those who awarded grants to our YMCA this past year. Thank you. for coming today and attending this virtual meeting. And most importantly, thank you for your time and commitment to supporting our YMCA. We hope that the meeting was informative, uplifting, and educational about what the Y is doing in our service areas to inspire everyone to a healthy life in spirit, mind, and body. And most importantly, I want to thank you all for working together with me over the past few years. It's been a pleasure and a privilege, and I look forward to seeing you all, and I hope our paths cross again.